we are here for a very special occasion, bringing it full circle. You are directing an episode of Roswell, New Mexico. Tell us what it's like to be back in this universe, but this time behind the camera.
Yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable 20 years later to now be directing the show. I mean, I'm giving direction to Liz about asking Max to dance. And I was saying to Jeanine, who plays Liz now, is like, well, my Liz would be very nervous asking my Max to dance. How would yours be? And the great thing is that the show is like, you know, they're 10 years older than when we were playing the show, we were teenagers. So it was very angsty, but these characters are very confident. They know who they are. And I find this Liz to have such confidence and grace.
So where do we pick things up in episode 9? I know we're headed to Texas.
Right. Well, they're on the road. They are going to find some information about a healer. They want to know what's going on. Michael has some damage on his hand. They want to get information of that. But Max is really focused on figuring out, like, are there more aliens? Who else is out there? Do we have any family? And that was a really big theme, I thought, in the original Roswell as well.
So tell us about bridging that gap between your Roswell universe and this one. Like you said, we're updating 10 years later.
Right.
They're not kids anymore. What was it like directing Jeanine as her Liz? Did you incorporate your experience with the character or try to have a clean slate? Tell us about bringing those two worlds together.
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like Liz has done, Jeanine, that's so funny. I feel like Jeanine's done a really great job of creating her own character. And I think that's really important. I think very early on in the pilot of the show, they really threw a lot of like nods and like tipping their hat to what we did in the original show. But then very quickly it becomes its own series, which it needs to be. And I feel like with her, I was just trying to make her the best version of her own character. And she had a lot more strength and confidence than my Liz did, because granted, I was, you know, my character was 16 and everything was a major heartbreak. And I thought we worked really well. You know, I'm obviously, my directing really comes, I start first with the performance. And so they were, all of the actors, and Jeanine in particular, were very open and receptive to like wanting to push and wanting to try to find beats that maybe weren't there, and like where can we find the humor and the fun. And we just had a really great time. I mean, it was very much like passing the torch. I think at one point we were joking around because we were all getting along so well. I was like, bitch, you stole my character. You know what I mean? But it was really, it just felt very full circle. And also what a great time in Hollywood that now, and I think I mentioned this to you when we did the original series, we did somewhat like around 60 episodes and we had one female director.
At the very end.
The very last episode, so she couldn't even come back. And so now in the very first season of this wonderful show, to be there and to be putting like my spin on things and just to be in a time in Hollywood when everyone's getting opportunity, I feel very lucky.
And can we expect to see you back on set?
I would love to. I mean, as soon as they get their second season pickup, I will definitely be picking up the phone.
Yeah. Now, this update is a little closer to the books, particularly Liz's character. What was your reaction when you heard how the new series was going to be modernizing things but still staying true to the source material?
Yeah, I thought that the writer, Karina McKenzie, did a really wonderful job updating the show. I feel like, you know, the topics that they're bringing up with, illegal immigration, you know, people being gay, straight, LGBT, I think she's doing a wonderful job of modernizing it. These weren't topics 20 years ago.
Right.
This wasn't what it was. Our show was about feeling like an alien in high school, not knowing who you are, which
that outcast misfit.
Yeah,
sort
and
of.
and I think those are really relevant topics to being 16 years old. But that's not the times anymore, and that's not this show. And so I think they've really elevated it.
Would you have ever predicted this for Liz? I mean, seeing her as a biomedical researcher, what was your vision for the character at the time?
That's so funny when people ask me all the time, like, where do you imagine Liz and Max 20 years later? You know, my last vision of them, which was everybody's, was seeing them get into this VW bus and driving into the future. I'm like, definitely pregnant, definitely lots of kids. And so to see her like really actually commanding her life, having a career, not giving up on the thing that she was passionate about, it's such a wonderful quality for a woman, and really with smart storytelling.
And this is sci-fi, so do you think there's a Roswell multiverse where your Liz and Max are still existing?
Wouldn't that be
in
great?
some other dimension alongside this
I know,
Liz and Max?
I kept being like, should I show up in the background somewhere?
You totally
Should I
could.
be
People would be here
extra
for it.
somehow? I didn't do it this time, but maybe in the second time. Maybe
I think the writers could figure it out.
I'll let them know you said that.
Okay, so before we let you go,
Sure.
we've got a fun little quiz in mind.
Okay.
So I'm going to read you lines of dialogue, and you can tell me who said it. Was it Liz Parker?
Oh my goodness.
Or Liz Ortecho?
Okay.
So a couple are going to be deliberately vague, so absolutely no pressure.
Okay.
But a couple will be a little more obvious, all in good fun.
Great.
All right. Kyle, your family is a damn nightmare. Somebody has to break the cycle of silence.
The new one, Liz Ortecho.
That was Liz Parker.
Okay, Liz Parker.
But that just goes to show
how
how.
it came out of my mouth probably 50 times, and I don't remember saying it. Okay.
All right. I hate that you're hurting. I'm guessing that's why the whole town is dark.
I'm gonna go with Liz Ortecho again.
Correct.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, here's a little more of a fun one.
Okay.
It's a weeknight, so I probably shouldn't, commit a felony.
Liz Parker.
Nice.
Thank you.
All right. Number 4.
Uh-huh.
Kind of weird about that star, huh? Kind of sad. It just doesn't seem that something burning so bright could just burn out.
Liz Parker.
Correct.
Thank you.
I think that's 3
Was that
for
it?
4.
Okay, yeah.
We got one more.
Okay, great.
And again, this one's a little more in good fun.
Okay.
I'm going to go home before one of these townies becomes an option.
Liz Ortecho.
Yes. You wouldn't think that Liz Parker would say something like that. She's like 16.
She's
but
like not hooking up with that many guys.
with that many townies at the bar.
What a fun time.
Yeah, so you did very well with that. It's been
Thank
20
you.
years, but things stick with you.
I mean, you would hope, right?
Definitely,
I
right?
hope everyone's enjoying Roswell, and we'll see you on Tuesday.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.